What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Gettin Chippy podcast. This is episode 3. I'm your host, Michael Magrelli. I'm here with Alex, bro.
We're here. We're ready to go. Let's go.
And yeah, we got a lot to get through. Just before we get going, you can watch our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and just about any other streaming platform, as well as check out our social medias on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Twitter. And yeah, so let's get going.
Let's do it.
We can start. We have a couple of places we can start with. We have the Women's World Juniors, NHL, trade rumors. Where do you want to start?
Let's just go around starting off with the NHL, no? Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Where do you want to start here?
Leafs.
Leafs? Let's do it. Leafs this week hasn't been too good. Tuesday and Thursday both lost games.
I know. Well, they were on a 5-game heater.
They were on a 5-game heater.
And then lost 2 straight now. 1 to the Vancouver Canucks, 3-0, and then
6-3 to the Carolina
6-3
Hurricanes.
To the Hurricanes. Hurricanes have been on a heat show too, though.
Yeah.
They beat Vancouver.
They've been good for the past 5-6 years now. So Hurricanes made the playoffs every single year, but no excuse. We were on a 5-game heater. We should have tried to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to win games scoring no goals, right? So
against
3-0 against Vancouver.
Yeah. It's not very good, right? But against Vancouver, I watched the game a little bit. We had lots of chances. We got lots of chances, but we just couldn't.
That's been the story of the Leafs. Some games this year, they'll get a lot of chances. They'll be all over a team. They just can't fucking bury.
Prime example. Saturday night, they lost to the Canucks, right? Mm. So, I remember this point in the game, they were on a 5-on-3 in the game, and they had friggin' 7 shots on that power play.
I just couldn't find the net.
Could not bury at all.
That's a little bit of luck too, right? Sometimes you get to balance it, sometimes you don't. That's hockey.
Exactly. But sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, right? So
yeah, but I don't know. The Leafs right now, they're in a very weird spot because they're at a place where they should be a very good team and they're performing like a very good team, but then they're losing games that they should be winning as well. They should have won against the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are playing. They're pretty good.
I think they're what? I think they're one. I think they're
second in the Metro.
Second, third in the Metro. The Caps, though. The Caps are a dark horse team this year. No one expected them to be this good.
First in the NHL.
They're first in the NHL this year.
Most of the time, the whole ride they've been without Ovi. The ride to the top anyway.
Yeah. Ovi, 873. He scored his 873rd goal.
Look, I don't want to be that guy, but I really hope he doesn't get it. I'm not even an Ovi hater. I'm okay, maybe a little bit, but I just want the record to stay in Canadian hands with Wayne Gretzky. And I said this last episode too. I love Ovechkin. He's amazing for the game. He's advanced scoring. He's a different kind of level of player. And I don't even dislike him. I just want the record in Canadian hands. It's a Canadian sport. We own this sport. The goal record stays with us. Just like the point record is going to stay with us and the assist record is going to stay with us as well.
Do you really think he's going to retire before he doesn't get the record? He's not going to retire.
He's going to have to break his leg or
he's going to have to
again.
He's going to have to career-ending injury or something like that.
Something unlucky.
He breaks. I'm not going to put that on to anyone. But anyway, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. He's a good player. If he gets it, good. But I hope he doesn't.
He's not going to retire until he gets it.
I know he's not, but still.
Your wish of a record or the goal scoring record in Canadian hands I don't think it's going to happen. Unfortunately, he's not going to.
Well, we don't really have any Canadian goal scorers right now that'll even come close to touching the record. I don't think. McDavid's a good player.
He's a very good player,
but he's an assist guy. He's not really he's a natural goal scorer. Don't get me wrong, but he's also a natural setup guy, and I feel like he sets up more than he puts in the net himself.
Debatable. He's had a couple 50-goal seasons. Has he had a 60-goal season? I think he had one 60-goal season. I think McDavid.
He just doesn't have the team around him to be that guy. Right now.
I don't know about that. The team made it to the Stanley Cup Finals last year. It was a pretty good team.
Yeah, McDavid put him on. He had 30 points in the playoffs.
Yeah, so granted,
he put that team on his back, dude.
But if he didn't have a team to help him, how did he make it that far, right?
He made that far because he's an X factor. This is NHL caliber player, and he's and then these are the superstars, and then this is him. Yeah. He's on his own level of hockey. He's above the Matthews, the Ovechkins, the Crosbys. He's a different caliber of player.
He's just a well-versed player. He's like very well-versed in every like aspect of the game.
He's just so much better.
He can skate, he can pass, he can shoot, he can score. He is able to make plays. He's got hockey IQ. He's got everything. He's got everything in the tool bag, right? So he can do anything he wants. His game is basically full, right? He's got everything in the bag.
He's just so much better than everybody else. It's unfair.
It's undebatable. Yeah, undebatable. The Leafs are still first in the Atlantic.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna finish first in the Atlantic, though. To be honest with you, I think Florida will take over the first in the Atlantic soon. The Leafs, while they were on a nice little heater, I think they're a very streaky team.
Yeah, they go on a streak and they lose a couple and go on another streak.
They're not a very linear, like just all the way up team. They're like this. Like they'll be really good for a little bit and then they'll be really shit for a little bit.
It always happens. Like every year of every season they start off shit. Then around this part of the year they do good. Then they reach a part in the season where they shit again.
They cool off a bit, and then they get hot again.
And then towards the playoffs, they cool off again every year.
I'm just tired of seeing a streaky Toronto team. I just want to see a Toronto team that's consistent all the way through. Like one season.
We haven't had a consistent Toronto team in how long? Like
too long.
I don't even remember a good consistent team that we've had. That would just keep on winning, lose a couple games, and keep on winning, right? Consistent, right? So
yeah, even another inconsistent team right now, Philadelphia Flyers. Oh my, they have so much packed. That team is going to be packed with talent in a couple
years. But granted, the Leafs did beat them in the back-to-back.
I know, but look at the difference in team. We're a fully developed team. They're like best players. Matvei Michkov, he's a rookie.
Yeah. No, and Travis Konechny's up there too.
Yeah,
he's up there.
No, Michkov's a way better player.
Yeah,
Konechny's a more complete player.
In his first year, he's only 20 years old. Imagine what he could be like when he's like in his prime, like 26, 27, right?
Exactly.
So he's got, I think, second most points amongst rookies, right? Yeah, second. He's looking good out there. One thing about his game that's really good is he's a very good passer. He's a very good IQ, and what comes along with that is opening up opportunities to score for other players, right? With that passing ability, and granted, he can also shoot as well.
Yeah, he's got a natural goal. He's a natural goal scorer. He's a natural playmaker. Those are the guys that they're not going to necessarily win you cups, but they'll definitely help if you have those. You have a core of those guys like Toronto Maple Leafs. They have the core four.
And they have like the players that bring in depth, and they have the other like. I don't want to call them superstars, but people that can also score as well.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the core, right? Exactly. Like, the Maple Leafs, I think, should be trading one of their core four this coming trade deadline. I know that's a controversial topic, and a lot of people disagree with me on that. But I think the Leafs need to shake up the core four for playoff time.
Well, we have two people part of the core four, Marner and Tavares, that are both off contract. I'm not sure if Marner got re-signed or not. I don't think he's re-signed because I don't think he's open for negotiations during the season. After the season, he'll go and negotiate. But two of the core four people are up their contracts up this year, so we'll see what happens.
No, that's what I think.
Tavares, his 7-year contract is done. We'll see what he does if he retires or re-signs.
Get rid of him.
Marner, I don't know what Marner is. It's kind of difficult with Marner, right? I don't know if he's gonna stay or
this is probably stay. This is what I think, honestly. I think you re-sign Marner. You get rid of Tavares. If it were me, honestly, I would get rid of Tavares at the trade deadline because he's playing phenomenally right now.
You get a good value. Maybe.
Yeah, he has massive value right now because he's playing really well, and he's a high percentage face-off guy. He's good for a power play and for a penalty kill.
He's good for sitting in front of the net.
Yeah,
right?
He's a good bumper, and he can complement a lot of teams in the NHL, and we can get a cap space.
$11 million. Or how?
11.5.
11 million.
Whatever.
He signed for 7 years, $11 million, $77 million, which is outrageous, right?
Whatever. And then we can even have throw in a defenseman, a couple picks.
What can we get? What can we get for $11 million? We can get a couple. Like instead of getting one superstar, we can get people that bring in depth. Right?
Never mind for $11 million. We can trade him for a superstar. Like on most teams, he is a superstar.
Most teams.
On the Leafs, he's not because he is, but he's not as big of a star as the Matthews or the Marner. or the Nylander. Because he's cooled off in recent years, but he's still a solid A-caliber player.
Yeah, he's definitely an A-caliber player. He's still got it, right? So,
like, would you do this trade 1-for-1, Drew Doughty for John Tavares? LA.
Probably not. Actually, I would, because our D, we don't have that much depth at D. We need a good defenseman.
But do you think LA would do that? I don't.
LA? No, they definitely would not do that, because that's like their core. That's like one of their core defenses, right? That's what brings the players in the room together. Those players in the room that brings together.
We've seen trades like that happen, though. Like Mark Giordano, captain of the Calgary Flames, came to Toronto. John Tavares, captain of the New York Islanders, came to Toronto.
Toronto, he's from Toronto. That's why he wanted to come, right? So
yeah, I know. But that's what Drew Doughty's from Toronto. Yeah. So it's a possibility.
But I doubt that they'll let go of Drew Doughty.
Yeah, I know, me too.
And at this point, like, Drew Doughty hasn't played since he had his injury, right? I think he broke his leg or something like that. He hasn't played this whole season.
Yeah, so exactly.
Who even knows if he'll be able to keep up if he broke his leg?
He's 30. He's 34 years old, 35, whatever. He'll figure it out.
He could be out of shape. His leg can never be the same again. He can't maybe skate the same. You never know that. Anything can happen with injuries, right?
Then you probably throw in with John Tavares right now, the way he's playing, he's worth a star and some picks at this point.
Tavares?
Yeah, Tavares is like 34 years old. He's probably just past his prime, but he brings leadership to a locker room. He's captained 2 teams. He's had multiple 50-goal seasons. He's the kind of guy you can have to lead a young team. Like the Chicago Blackhawks. All those young teams, Montreal Canadiens need some leadership. Their captain's Nick Suzuki right now. Like, why is Nick Suzuki your captain?
I'd give it to a more experienced guy, like an older guy, right?
Yeah, but Nick Suzuki is a good player. He's a decent player, but I don't really see leadership in him. I don't know.
He's too young to know what leadership's all about yet. Right?
They have all these old guys on the team: Gallagher, Gianta, Armia. Pick one of them. But even still, anyway, they need to get rid of those players anyway. Armia needs to go. Gallagher might be the worst contract in the league. That has to go for the Habs to even have a chance at winning the playoffs.
He's takes too many penalties, Gallagher. He's always in the penalty box.
Dude,
that guy
is ridiculously bad at hockey. Yeah. I don't know what happens. He
gets the once in a lifetime goal.
Nice little tip in once in a while. He's like the shitty version of Matthew Nyes. Yeah. Matthew Nyes and the old version of Matthew Nyes. Matthew Nyes has been playing like a dog recently.
Yeah.
He's had
the past 2 weeks.
5-6 goals in the last 4 games.
He had 2 against the Islanders. He had 3 against the Bruins. Imagine how good that must have felt to score 3 against the Bruins. Imagine how good that must have felt, right? Especially losing in 7 games again.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be another... If we have to play the Bruins in the playoffs again, I'm just not even going to watch it this year.
The thing is, the Atlantic Division is one of the most competitive division this year. It's all so close. We're separated by 6 or 7 points.
Well, the Atlantic Division's always good, though. And, it's unfair in a sense because there's some teams in the Atlantic Division that deserve to be in the playoffs some years. That just don't make it. Right? You have teams like Ottawa, Montreal, teams that are working really hard for playoff spots that should be in playoff spots.
That are borderline playoff.
Exactly.
Playoff.
And then you have top 3 teams in the Pacific and Metropolitan divisions that just suck.
But it's always the same 3 teams that make it in those Metro, the Central, the Pacific divisions all the time. Maybe a mix up because of good signings or something like that, but it's always the same 3 teams.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing about hockey in general, though, with the salary cap, is that it can be anyone's year, any year, right? It's not going to be like soccer where you have the same 5 teams winning, Real Madrid, Barcelona,
Man City,
and then you go to Serie A where you have AC Milan. I'm just trying to say, in hockey, it's very easy for it to be a spread out championship. Like it's never usually the same 5 teams winning
every
over
year,
10 years.
Yeah, every year it's anyone's team or
anyone's game.
Anyone's game.
Yeah, like a team like the St. Louis Blues can win a Stanley Cup. Like if we didn't have salary caps in the NHL, Toronto, like basically all the original 6 teams would win every year. Toronto's got a big market. New York's got a big market. Boston's got a big market. Detroit's got a big market. Chicago's got a big market.
It's always the original 6 teams. Like,
and Montreal is a big market.
All the original 6 teams always have a big market, no matter what. Because it's a big city. They got the big 4 teams, right?
Yeah,
big 4 teams for every major league sport. Anyone wants to go there, right? For the opportunity to watch sports, to live there and stuff, right? So,
well, yeah, it's hockey is almost ingrained in the societies of the original 6 teams, though. Like Toronto, anywhere in Canada is a hockey town, but Toronto, Montreal especially, and then you go to New York. New York's a big hockey town. Detroit's an even bigger hockey town. Yeah. Chicago's pretty big on hockey too.
Boston's pretty big on hockey.
Boston's big on hockey. Like all these original 6 teams would have money flowing out of their ass to win the championship if they won.
But teams like Arizona, or not even Arizona, Utah now, they don't have like the ability. Don't have big markets, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like they don't.
Utah,
they're not marketed.
Yeah,
they can't be marketed. Well, Minnesota, like they're good teams.
All the expansion teams don't have the big market, like
or like prairie teams like Winnipeg, Calgary. Like, don't get me wrong, like. They like to play hockey. They have big hockey teams. They don't have the people to have a big market, especially in Canada.
Yeah, they don't.
They just don't have that.
Just imagine. We can already see the San Jose. They're a good young team. Just imagine in a few years with a good couple good picks, just the market the players will be able to get from how good they get from the picks they get. So
yeah,
like we already seen from Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith. We got all those young guys they have on the team. Just imagine how good they can get with a couple good first-round picks. They could even make the playoffs in 2-3 years. You never know that, right? So, bring market to San Jose or California. Another thing with big markets.
Yeah. Well, so look at the women's World Juniors. We just finished talking about the men's World Juniors. Canada's embarrassing disappointment at the World Juniors. But how about those Canadian women?
Yeah.
They're ripping it up. They won gold.
They beat Japan 17-0.
Yeah.
Granted it's Japan, but still
that was a disgusting game. They're really padding stats that game, that's for sure. 17-0, that's a beatdown.
Like I don't even know how Japan should just forfeited after 8-0. Like
that's a special beatdown right there. That's just
like how do you after every intermission, how do you go on the ice and think you're like, oh...
What's the talk in that locker room? It's all right, ladies. It's only 12-0 right now, but hey, we got a shot.
We got a shot. We got a shot. 13 goals, right?
It's like Miracle on Ice, that movie. Yeah, it's all right. We got a shot. We got it. We're ready to go.
But instead of the miracle happening, they don't have a miracle.
Yeah, here's the miracle. 5 more goals against.
5 more goals against, right? Well, anyways, yeah.
But even if it's just a size advantage, too, if you look at the Canadian women's team, they're a big team.
They are.
For a women's team, they're a pretty big team. They're a solid team. And then, I know, Japan, hockey's not really a thing in Japan, is it?
Not really, no.
Don't quote me on this, but, I don't think are there any Japanese hockey players even in the NHL? Is Suzuki, maybe, the captain of the Habs.
I don't think he's from Canada, dude. I don't think he's
no. I'm not saying he's Japanese, but he might be of Japanese descent. But I don't think there's actually a Japanese-born player in the NHL. I know Suzuki is of Japanese descent, a couple generations, but I don't think there's a single Japanese-born player in the NHL right
now. Not to my knowledge, no.
I don't think so.
Granted that hockey in Canada is massive.
Well, yeah, hockey North America and China is massive.
So we should be beating Japan 17-0. It's not really a big surprise, right?
It's not fucking Team Canada losing to Latvia in shootouts.
Yeah, I still can't believe we still lost.
I cannot believe that.
Even to Czech, it's still an embarrassment, right?
This World Juniors team was one of the worst put together teams I think ever.
Even last year's team was horrible too.
I know, but this year was like ridiculous. Like they had a good core of players, but they had so many players that they could have brought with them that would have made the team that much better. And especially with the scoring troubles they had. Misa, Seneki, Cristal,
all those guys.
like, how are we not bringing the best players, like the best men for the job?
Yeah, exactly. Like the best men for the job should win every single time.
Like, substitute our fourth line for just a line with Cristal, Seneki, and Misa.
3 good goal scorers.
Like,
good guys that can actually put the puck in the net.
yeah, but I don't want to steer into the men's game because we already have lashed out about that enough. I want to talk about these women. They're playing amazing.
They are.
Like, they are playing at a level that is way better than the rest of the world. Like, ridiculously better than the rest of the world.
It's not even close.
It's not even close. They're playing at a ridiculously better level than the rest of the world.
Even when they played the Americans, it wasn't even that close either.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember the score in the game, but even when they played, like...
But they were all over them.
They were all over them, still. And USA is our next biggest competitor, right? So, it wasn't even close.
You know what I think has made the women's game better, though? The introduction of the PWHL.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's amazing for growing the game. Like,
yeah.
It gives girls now, like, that are trying to play hockey, it gives them somewhere, to work toward.
Yeah, before there's no incentive, right?
So well, there was. To play in the Olympics, but to represent your country. But now it can be a job for girls, for women, too, right? Yeah, and I think it's amazing for the game. They're growing the game. Because before, like, if you were a little girl watching Hockey Night in Canada, you can play in the Olympics, but you had nowhere to go after that.
Yeah.
You had no way to make an income from the game. And now you're seeing all these great players being fostered in systems, and they're getting even better.
Just imagine how many, like, people that are, like, young women that are trying to play hockey, they actually have an opportunity to go to those next levels,
exactly.
Right? Or it brings more, like, what's it called? It brings more, what's the word?
Advancement?
Advancement to the game.
You're right. And it's actually a great step forward, in my opinion, because, like, you have these players that they can showcase their abilities more than once every 4 years. Like, you have these players like Marie-Philippe Poulin, Sarah Nurse, like, these players that, like, before would not... Well, Wickenheiser is retired now.
Yeah, but she was still a good Canadian.
I know, but what I'm saying is, these, like, Poulin and Nurse, now they have a platform to show off their skills and to play the game and to bring fans into the game. Because before, like during the Wickenheiser era of hockey, these players would play once every 4 years. How can you
they were able to only showcase their skills once every 4 years, right?
Exactly, but how can you possibly know a player or build a brand around a player or even build a fan base over a team that plays once every 4 years?
You can't.
You can't.
It's impossible.
And, like, even though they played once every 4 years, they still had some iconic moments. Like Haley Wickenheiser when they beat the United States.
Yeah.
The United States had our flag on their floor.
Yeah.
And that was her thing. She was like, the United States had our flag on their floor, and now I want to know if they want us to sign it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hard as shit, bro. Yeah. And, like, imagine there's those moments that can be done every month instead of once every day instead of once every 4 years. It's amazing for the game. It's amazing to grow the game like that. And, like, honestly, myself, I don't watch that much PWHL myself, but the fact that it's even an option for people to watch is amazing.
Yeah.
Instead of girls having to look up to and male players in the NHL, they can have their own role models in the PWHL if they want. Obviously, they'll still love watching NHL. I'm not saying they won't, but they have, like, someone who looks like them, who, like, was in their shoes.
Who models the game after that person,
who models their game after them. They have someone to look up to. Someone that, like, it would have been on the same path as they will be.
And people who are younger can actually look up to and want to
exactly.
be better to them, right?
Exactly, because they actually have, like, a path to follow now. Because before, like, you can look up to an NHL player, but they didn't exactly have that same path. That platform. Now they have this platform
to showcase their
skills, but to showcase the game as a whole. Like, hockey already, especially in Canada and the United States, it's a dying game. Yeah. With how expensive it is now. And I just feel like any effort to grow the game is a good effort, no matter where it is, why, no matter, like, it's just great to grow the game of hockey, the game we love. Because at the end of the day, every Canadian may be just a little bit to hockey fan. So it warms your heart to see the game growing at such an exponential rate that it is now.
Even, like, maybe in a couple of years, as the PWHL has, like, what, 6 to 8 teams, whatever it is? 8 teams?
They're expanding.
I know. Just imagine when the expansion of all those teams comes in, like a 32-team PWHL. Imagine how cool that'd be.
That'd be amazing.
Maybe even like European women leagues or something like that. That'd be cool as well.
Yeah, I don't think there is any. Well, there must be like European minor leagues, but I don't think there's any professional European women's leagues.
Just imagine like if they're able to advance that game or be able to put hockey out there in Europe for the women.
Yeah,
imagine how cool
that would be. Great. And see, that's the thing too with like the PWHL.
And be able to bring the best European players over to play in the PWHL, right? Yeah,
with the PWHL though, I think they have to expand their marketplace a little more. Like once they get more viewership, and I think the PWHL will start to really become a very serious league. Is when they start to build their own stadiums and build their own brands. Because right now, for example, the Minnesota team is playing in the Minnesota Wild Stadium, or like. The Toronto Scepters were playing in TMU.
TMU, yeah.
So what I'm saying is that once they start to build their own stadiums, even if they're smaller at the start, once they have to build their own brand, but their own this is where we come to watch the Toronto Scepters. This is where we come to watch Minnesota. Like, just they need to develop their own community, and they're slowly doing it. It's a new league.
It's only been what? I think last year was the first year.
2 years. So they got time. And they just brought names to their teams now. So that's the first step in building a brand, is giving it a name.
It wasn't just Toronto.
Yeah, Team Toronto or Team Minnesota. Like that, Team Montreal. That was kind of dust. So now at least they have their own names. It's good. They can start building their brand, build their logos. It's good for the game.
Very good for the game.
Simple as that. It's great for the game.
What else? Trade markets? We're talking about trades. Trade deadlines coming up soon.
Yeah, I mean, we know what the Leafs need.
We've talked about it multiple times, right? So.
Yeah, Leafs need to get one. I think they need 1 or 2 more solid defense.
What I saw was crazy. It was actually on Instagram, a TSN post. Apparently, they're for like trade bait. They're putting Nick Robertson up there for trade bait for only $875K.
That's
what is $875K going to do for the Leafs when they have their most salary cap filled up? What's that really going to do?
They're going to need to pull a Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, they're going to have to
put everyone on IR and bring them back to the playoffs.
And then and trade the players that they brought in or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. But Nick Robertson, he's a good little player, but he's not an impact guy.
Like, he doesn't bring. He brings that oomph into the team, but he doesn't really produce that much.
Honestly, I like our third and fourth lines as they are right now. Like we have Dewar, he's been amazing this year. Lorentz. I love having, me, I love old school hockey. I love having Reeves on the bench.
Like we said last podcast, right?
Yeah.
You would trade any depth guy for Reeves,
I would trade any depth guy, even some third line depth guys for Reeves. Because guess what? When push comes to shove and you're in the playoffs, you need that guy on the bench to police the game.
Especially if you're down 2-0.
Yeah, to bring some boom. Bring the boom.
Lay a big hit or something.
Yeah, or drop the mitts, change the tilt of the game. Because that's what's going to win you hockey games.
Because momentum wins everything, basically. Once you have the momentum...
Yeah, momentum is very... it's weird because it's such a powerful force in the game. Like, for example, I was watching my brother play hockey, and his team is a very momentum-based team. Like, when they're up, they're buzzing. But when they're down, they're dead.
They're done.
And that's the hard part of the game. For especially lower level teams like single A, double A, triple A to learn, but in the NHL it still shows because momentum plays a major factor. And obviously in the junior leagues you can't fight, but fighting in the NHL, it's a momentum turner. I've seen countless games,
and it brings the fans in too.
Yeah,
right? Get the fans going, right?
It brings some air into the building again, but also it brings the team back on their feet. You see your guy just beat the shit out of someone. Do that. Or someone gets hit from behind, or someone gets sticked in front of the net.
You're after them,
and you jump them, and then the whole team's in the game now. Now it's personal. It's a revenge story now. You want to win for something else.
And the next time you play those guys, it's even
exactly
better, right?
Exactly, especially in a playoff series. Playoff series, you can play the same team seven times in a row.
Just like the Leafs and the Bruins, they hate each other.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
and they want to kill each other every game
4 times a year too.
Yeah.
So they can end up seeing each other for like 11 games. That's like an eighth of an NHL schedule.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, right? So
they hate each other, and the only thing that matters is beating. And if you don't beat the other team, or beat the Boston Bruins, it's horrible. You want to kill yourself.
Exactly. Right? Well, because Boston has really good fans. They do. Boston has a great fan base. As much as I hate
the Leafs have the weakest fan base.
As much as I hate Boston and I hate you Bruins fans, you guys are some of the best fans in the NHL. I can't lie.
We suck. The Leafs fan base, we absolutely suck.
I know, because we're so on our players. Once they're going bad, we lose our shit, and that's like. I
went to a playoffs Leafs game like 5 years ago, and they were playing the Boston Bruins. It was silent in there, and it was a playoff game. It was absolutely silent.
I forget who posted it, but
you can hear a pin drop in that.
It was recently on Instagram. I forget who posted this, like Coach Chippy or like.
I think it was Jesse Pollock.
Or one of those guys, and he was like reading a book in Scotiabank Arena. He's like, "Oh, can we keep it down in here? I'm trying to read my book here." And it's true. Like, why do we not have a fan base that gets electric? Like, I think it's the cup drought. We're not electric anymore.
We need a cup to bring the electricity back to the city.
Yeah, well, they gotta give us a reason to want to win. To want to be fans again.
Yeah,
like 60 years without a cup. Like, get out of here.
I'm pretty sure
we're on year 58.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
I'm pretty sure we're like the longest team without a cup.
Longest drought. Yeah.
Longest drought without a cup. Even
teams that are expansion teams. Like, ridiculous.
I wouldn't even be surprised if Seattle gets a cup before the Leafs.
Yeah, Seattle.
Or a Utah. Or like a Winnipeg. Winnipeg, granted, they're doing well this year.
Winnipeg's a good team, man.
They're a wagon.
Winnipeg's a serious contender. I want to see all the Canadian teams actually have a chance to make it.
This year, I'm pretty sure that they start off like 10-0, 11-0 this year, the Winnipeg Jets.
Well,
and their first loss came to the Leafs, though. Just saying.
All the Canadian teams have a chance to make the playoffs this year. Leafs are going to be in the playoffs for sure this year. Montreal's fighting in the depths, scraping up the shit, trying to make a wild card spot.
They suck though, still.
Yeah, they suck. They're not going to make it far, but if they're in the playoffs, that's one less American team that's in there. Calgary, maybe not. Winnipeg, they'll be in.
They'll be in it.
Vancouver's probably going to be in it.
I don't know.
Vancouver will probably be in it. They're a good team.
They're all right. I don't know.
They're good enough to make it in the Pacific.
Who's
in the Pacific Division?
Will the Elias Pettersson, JT Miller situation hold them back from making the playoffs?
Well, obviously not. The last couple of games, they've been clicking. They have like 5 or 6 points in the last 2 games. They're clicking now. So
whatever
they had to kiss and make up, but they figure it out. Like, that's fine with me. And then what other teams do we have in Canada?
Like what division?
In Canada? I just went through
Ottawa. We got
Ottawa. That's who I missed. Ottawa might make the playoffs too. They're going to be battling
like the Atlantic Division. Anything could happen. Like it's so tight right now. Anything could happen.
I'd love to see Florida be bounced. Never will happen, but I'd love to see it.
They know what it takes now. Once they tasted the cup, and now they want more. Like they want to.
You think it's a dynasty team? I don't think so. I don't think they're good enough to be a dynasty team. They're not like the Oilers in the 80s or the Islanders in the 80s or the
Philadelphia Flyers,
2010s Penguins, 2010s Chicago Blackhawks. They're not like that. Or the 2020 Tampa Bay Lightning. They're not a team like that. They got their cup, but I think that'll be it.
I don't know. They look still very good this year.
They look good, but they're not that team.
But do the teams know what it takes though? Florida knows what it takes now.
Yeah, they know what it takes, but it's so easy to say, yeah, I know what it takes to win a cup, but to actually perform it, it's hard.
But they got a hard-nosed coach, Paul Maurice.
Yeah, so the Leafs have a hard-nosed coach in Berube.
And Paul Maurice is gonna push that team to the limit, and they're gonna win a
hard-nosed coach doesn't always win you. Like look at John Tortorella, he's a hard-nosed coach. What does he have under his belt? Nothing.
He's won a couple coaches of the year. That's pretty much
it. Well, that's a personal word. Does he have a cup? Is his name on the tin?
You never know.
Is it though?
And like maybe a couple of years, you never know.
Is it right now? No, is it? No. Okay then. So having a hard-nosed coach helps, but at the end of the day, it's the culture built in the team, and also being a streaky team, as I'm saying. Like having a hot goalie. Is your goalie going to be hot for 2-3 years in a row? Like, I don't know.
Bobrovsky, he's a good goalie.
Well, yeah, he's a Vezina winner. Of course, he's a good goalie.
He's one of those goalies that I think can be solid for a good 3-4 years. I don't disagree. He has a cup now, and I think he wants to win another one before he eventually retires. Or
he's not going to retire for a while.
I'm just saying.
And he's Russian, too. He'll be in the league till like 80.
Look at Ovi. He's 39.
Yeah, exactly.
He has, 873 goals? Close to that record.
He's not touching the record.
He's touching the record.
No, he's not, bro. He's not getting the record.
He's sniffing that record right now.
Sniffing his own asshole. He's not going to sniff nothing. He's not getting the record.
He's sniffing.
It's going to stay in Canadian hands and Gretzky's hands, okay?
Nope.
Yeah.
As much as I want it in Canadian's hands, it's not going to happen. He's not going to get until he's not going to retire until he gets it.
I don't care, bro.
He's not going to. It's simple. Get that through your head.
No,
simple.
He's not getting it. Yeah, whatever. Who has the points record?
Gretzky.
Yeah, okay. Gretzky has more assists than like the next closest guy's points, I think, or like close to it. Like it's ridiculous how good he was.
He also only played like what? 17 seasons, 18 seasons. He's close to like 3,000 points.
20 seasons. He played from 79 to 99.
So that was a good long career.
Yeah, 20 seasons. That's like I'm not even 20 years old yet, so
wasn't even alive.
It wasn't even alive. Exactly.
Who do you think will be like the next closest guy to like be even touch that number?
Points,
like total points.
Well, active has to be McDavid.
Yeah, he's the only person in my mind that personally can like. It's hard to say. Maybe he's gonna get like what 3,000 points. It's hard to like even say he's gonna get close to 3,000 points, but like
he won't even touch
2,000.
He'll be lucky if he touches 2. No one will ever get to 2,900 points ever again. I will guarantee you that. No one will ever touch 2,900 points again. Wayne Gretzky, like, he averaged 3.5 points a game.
That's insane.
I don't even average that in Chell. Yeah. I'm at 3.4 in Chell. Yeah. So, like, he was putting up above video game numbers in the NHL. And, like, I don't give a shit. All these people that say, oh, yeah, it was an easier league, it was an easier time. You're right, but then why wasn't everyone putting up 2,900 points? No one even put up more assists than he had points. He put up more assists than everyone else had points. So how can you even argue, oh, it's because of the goalies, this, that? Then why didn't everyone else do it? Messier played at the same time. Yari Curry played at the same time. Mario Lemieux played at the same time. Granted, he had cancer. That's different. But you know what I'm saying?
Also, Mario Lemieux didn't even have that long of a career, though.
Yeah, well, he was injury plagued, dude.
Yeah.
And he got testicular cancer. Like, he had it tough. Like, he was a great player, too. He probably would have had goals, right? He would have had he would have much more records.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby actually just passed him for the most points or assists, whatever it was.
I think it was 1,000 assists or something like that. That's crazy.
On the Pittsburgh Penguins, yeah.
Just imagine Crosby's played 17, 18 seasons, and he still needs 900 more to catch up to Gretzky. Just an assist. Plus playoff points. I don't know how many assists he has in the playoffs. Like
to catch Gretzky, the next closest player is still like 900 points away more.
And that's like it took McDavid 10 seasons to reach 1,000. It
took Gretzky like 5.5.
Yeah.
It took Gretzky 5.5 seasons to get to 1,000 points. Like, that's unfathomable. That's like just above 400 games to get to 1,000 points.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he only got better from there.
Yeah.
That's only like a 2.5, 2.6 points per game average. He added another point per game average over the rest of his career. And that's including that last shitty year he played like in St. Louis or whatever. Yeah. Or New York, wherever he played.
I think he played... Was it New York? No, it wasn't New York. Because he won a
St. Louis. I think he finished his career in St. Louis.
Did he not win a cup in New York? I think he won a cup in New York, no?
He won 2 or 3 with the Oilers.
And
then one with...
I think it was New York.
New York or...
I don't think he won with the
Well,
Kings.
he's responsible himself for bringing hockey to LA.
Yeah.
Like, LA hockey before Gretzky was nothing. It was shit. It was like, you had the California Golden Seals. You had LA, but like, who'd they have on their team? Nobody.
Marcel Dion.
Yeah, no.
He's another good
Not
legend.
Marcel Dion. Marcel Dion was after. Marcel Dion never won a Stanley Cup.
I know he never won a Stanley Cup, but he was like in and around that era. Like Gretzky was playing though, you know what I mean?
But Marcel Dion, he's the best player in my opinion to never win a Stanley Cup. Controversial, but I think it's true. He was one of the best players to ever play the game, and he never won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Imagine that. He would have been on one of the most deserved lists to win the Stanley Cup. They're right there with Borka and Ovechkin.
And he's one of those players that goes into your mind because he's never won a cup, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like that.
Imagine that, like
that's the legacy debate right there in a nutshell. Okay, because everyone will say, "Oh, LeBron's better than Michael Jordan," and people say, "Oh, but it's the championships," and then the LeBron fans say, "Who cares? That's a team award." You're right, but championships are what dictate a legacy.
Exactly.
Like, without Ovechkin, without getting that championship, he wouldn't have the same legacy he has now. And it's just a fact.
The Stanley, whatever championship award it is in every sport, it holds a lot of weight.
Championships bring legacy.
Yeah.
Are you the guy that will win your team the championship? Like, yeah, that's cool. You have your personal accolades, PPP. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how many chips you win.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Michael Jordan won 6 for 6.
Tom Brady, 7 rings.
That's
went to the Super Bowl 10 times. Some NFL players don't even go to the Super Bowl in their career.
Yeah.
Some guys don't even make the playoffs in their NFL career. He went to the Super Bowl 10 times and won 7.
That's a 70% win rate in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
And on top of that, his playoff appearances too is probably higher than that.
Or to branch off, even like the UFC, you have some amazing strikers that just never won a belt. And then you have guys like Demetrius Johnson. He like defended his belt like 13 times.
Like an Anderson Silva.
Silva, George St. Pierre. All these legends, you know them because they had an accolade. Like, UFC, that's kind of a bad example because it's a personal sport, it's not a team sport. But to branch off, like, as I said, basketball, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Hockey, you can't even dispute it. Yeah. Wayne Gretzky's the best player ever. I don't care what any of you Americans say. Gretzky, you guys don't know anything about hockey, okay? Wayne Gretzky is the best player to ever play in the NHL. I don't give a shit what your opinion is, because if it's not Gretzky, you're wrong. Simple as that. Okay? Let's just put that out there. Yeah. But who's the best American-born player then?
I think it would be. Would it be one of the Hulls?
Who cares? Hockey's a Canadian sport anyway.
Maybe a Bossy, maybe at this point 1,300 points. Patrick Kane now hit 1,300 points. Mike Modano.
Bossy, if he wasn't plagued with knee injuries, would have been. Like he already is in record books, but he would be even higher up on them for sure.
He's
an animal, but he won the Stanley Cup 4 times?
Mike Bossy, something like that. I wasn't even alive, so I don't know. So
with the Islanders, the Islanders had a dynasty.
They won what? I think they won like
4 times in a row.
That's crazy.
Like, talk about a Stanley Cup dynasty 4 times in a row. The only other team that I think's done that is Montreal.
Montreal, what? I think it was in like the 70s, Montreal?
Yeah, well, they had...
Or was it 60s, 70s?
I don't know, but they had a gross team.
Guy Lafleur, all those guys.
They were gross for a long time. Like, the Montreal Canadiens were gross basically up until 1995, and then they started to suck. But...
They've had some good teams, though, in like those years, though.
Especially after the Quebec Nordiques folded. Wow, they've always had great teams. Like Toronto, Toronto's always had great teams too. They just can't make it.
They had that fluke run in 2020. Should have never happened, but another fluke run.
I know. The Habs,
fluke team.
They had a French fluke, you know. Let me beat the Leafs by accident.
Then beat the Vegas by accident.
Beat Vegas by accident.
Beat Winnipeg by
accident.
And then lose to Tampa.
And then lose to Tampa in the Stanley Cup Finals.
It was bound.
All that just to lose in the Stanley Cup Finals.
It was bound to happen. They suck as a team, right? So it was bound to happen.
They suck. They got lucky. Carey Price was playing out of his mind. Now he's on. I don't know where he is now. Where's
all 24 of their cups was a fluke. You can say that, right? So
I don't know where is Carey Price now. Anyway,
I don't know. The last time I heard of him was like on the NHLPA rehab thing. Right. I don't even know what even happened.
That sucks. Because he got addicted to drugs. But like, he was a great goalie.
Yeah,
he was a generational goalie, and too bad he wasted it away like that. But hey, we all have our problems. But whatever.
He was like a very good goalie. Like I wish I would be able to see him a little bit more. Yeah, like his career ended way too soon.
Yeah.
Drugs got the best of him, right? So
yeah. Well, like, he's a generational goalie. Like you have those generational goalies like Marty Brodeur, Dominic Hasek, Felix Potvin, like all these goalies that are just like advancing the game. Like Marty Brodeur invented the butterfly, like a move now that's used by every single goalie ever. It wasn't even
around the world.
Yeah, it wasn't even a thought before. Used by Linus Spielbergs or Leonard Spielbergs
from Latvia
to hold the Canadians to 2 goals.
53 saves on 56 shots. That's outrageous.
Yeah,
that's like NHL numbers right there.
Outrageous,
as they say.
How does Team Canada? I'm still on that. I know it's been like 2-3 weeks now. I don't care. I'm still on it. How does Team Canada lose to Latvia?
It's honestly worse. It's honestly worse.
That's like the Humber Valley Sharks in the GTHL beating the Vaughan Rangers.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
It should never happen, and it's
never gonna happen.
Ridiculous.
Let's go back to momentum. They were up 1-0. A nice little snipe from I don't even know. Up 1-0. They're all going, and then 5 straight goals, 4 in the PK.
Yeah.
1 in the power play. Like it's all momentum, right? They suck. Humber Valley Sharks suck. Like I said.
Yeah, but. Anyways, beyond the GTHL, NHL's it's looking like it's going to be a fun season this year.
It is.
Like you have a lot of contending teams. The Atlantic is
stacked.
I don't even know what to call it. It's
like what's the team like?
I don't even know what to call it. It's just so tight right now that anything can happen. It's it's going to be a fun season to watch. I just hope.
Who are the teams from the Atlantic you think are going to make the playoffs? Like
Toronto. I don't think Boston's making the playoffs.
You don't think so?
No. I think Toronto.
Boston will make the playoffs. They'll squeak in a wild card for sure.
I think it's going to be.
A wild card for sure.
So listen, this is going to be very controversial. I think it's going to be Toronto 1 or 2.
It's 1 or 2 for me.
Florida 1 or 2.
Maybe Tampa, maybe.
And then Tampa, and then wild card will be the Montreal Canadiens over Boston. And Boston will be beat out by Metropolitan team.
One Metropolitan, maybe Pittsburgh.
Sneaky Pittsburgh run.
Another cup for Crosby.
Crosby. If he gets 100 points this season, he beats Wayne Gretzky for most 100-point seasons.
How many has Gretzky had? No, how many does he have?
Gretzky had 17. Sidney Crosby has 17 right now.
So if he gets on that 100 points.
If he gets one more, he has 18, and that's the most ever. Because Gretzky, by the end of his career, his last
that even adds to his freaking legacy right there. Another accolade.
Gretzky's last 2 or 3 seasons, he slowed down. He got like 50, 60, 70 points. But Crosby is Sid the Kid, man. He's just that guy that just doesn't age. Yeah. Age is like fine wine.
Even from the time he was drafted, we knew he was going to be good,
yeah,
right?
Well, Wayne Gretzky even says this kid's going to be something special. And I think the next kid to be something special is Connor McDavid. He'll have a run like that for sure. I hope he gets off Edmonton. If he gets off Edmonton, if he goes to half of their teams in the NHL, he'll be in a 200-point player.
Nah, that's impossible.
No, it's not. Why not?
200 points and
2.5 points a game.
That hasn't been touched in forever, dude. The closest it's ever been is 156 something points.
McDavid got to 160 on a team that's offense is what? Him, Nugent, RNH, Draisaitl, and Hyman. And that's it. Who else is on that team? Darnell Nurse stinks. He doesn't score.
Stewart's gonna.
He barely hits. That's one of the worst contracts in the NHL too. $10.5 million for Darnell Nurse.
Oh, Darnell Nurse. That's a horrible contract.
Horrible contract. He's not even worth half of that.
He's maybe worth $5 million. Maybe.
I don't know, man. He's crying after Ryan Reeves hits him. He's like, oh, he goes out there to hurt people. It's like, yeah, it's hockey, Darnell.
It's hockey, yeah.
Like,
you've been playing for the past.
You've been playing for the past 25, 30 years of your life. Like, welcome to the show, kid.
That's a wake up call right there for you, right? Keep your head up.
I know him too. Like, you learn first year of hitting in AA. You learn once that puck is near you, or you know the puck's near you.
You're open to be hit.
Pick that head up.
Yeah.
He went all the way. He started with the puck on the left side of the net, skated all the way around behind the net with his head down. So he deserved it. Reeves started from the top of the left circle and got there 5-6 seconds later. If you couldn't see him then, you deserve every little bit of the train that hit you.
Stay off the tracks.
Yeah, if you don't hit by the train, get off the tracks. Pick your damn head up.
Exactly. That hit was massive, though.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I still remember that, though. What happened to him? What even happened to Darnell? Was his face all bruised? What happened?
Oh, whatever. He was a little bruised up.
The visor cut his face.
Yeah, and then he was crying about it on Sportsnet after I heard him. Yeah, Reeves just goes out there to hurt people. Yeah. Shut up, bro. Play hockey. If you don't want to get touched, go play soccer or something. Go play AA with Humber Valley Sharks. I don't know.
Yeah. They don't even hit anyways on the Humber Valley Sharks. So.
Anyway, I think that's it for me.
Do you want to, off topic from the hockey, but don't do predictions for UFC this weekend?
Actually, why not? UFC predictions.
So, let's pull up the card here. I know the first two fights, which is Khabib and Arman Sarukian. Not Khabib, sorry, Islam versus Arman Sarukian. I think Islam takes that fight. As much as he's a very good fighter. He's a Dagestani wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a very good fighter. And I think he has the grappling to do so. So,
okay.
That's the first fight.
Kevin Holland versus Renier de Ridder.
I think Kevin Holland wins that.
I think Holland too.
Yeah.
Darush versus
Neil Dariush wins.
I haven't watched them fight, so I wouldn't know.
Dariush versus Moicano, I think Dariush wins that. He's overall better fighter.
Okay, so Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. I take Prochazka.
Prochazka. Jamal Hill is still waking up from Alex Pereira, right?
Yeah, dude, I know they both got fucking slapped around by him, but yeah. I think Prochazka, he's veteran presence. And Jamal Hill was trying to scare the lightweight division, thinking he was sick or whatever. I think he's gonna get knocked out twice in a row. He's gonna get absolutely slapped around. I think
Umar versus Merab.
I think Umar wins.
I think the Nurmagomedov name stays prominent in the UFC.
Yeah, I think Umar takes the belt. Yeah. For sure.
And then
that's going to be another division that's just going to be ruled by a bunch of Dagestani wrestlers. Sean O'Malley was the last fun guy to watch in that division.
Because all these guys, all they do is wrestle fuck each other.
I know. Now it's just going to be, let's just wrestle the whole time. It's going to be so boring. And then Islam's going to win.
Islam's going to win.
Yeah.
Did you see those camp photos?
Yeah, I don't care. Islam's winning, dude.
They both look in really good shape. So
Islam's going to win. I know he's going to win.
Are those predictions?
Yeah, I got Islam, Nurmagomedov, Prochazka. I don't know enough about Dariush versus Moicano, so I'm not going to guess. And then I'm guessing Holland for that one.
I would agree with all your picks, but it's going to be a good card. It's a stacked card.
It's going to be a fun card to watch.
Hopefully we get them right, though.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching episode 3 of the Gettin Chippy podcast. Again, as I said, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and check out all our socials. I already named Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Twitter. Check us out, and we'll see you next Saturday. Have a good night.
Get your duds in order, 'cause we're bound to cross the water. Heave away, me jollies.